This happened several years ago, and the weight of it still lingers. I was in a relationship that lasted almost 2 years with someone named Alina. At first, it was everything I thought love was supposed to be. She had this captivating presence, petite frame, radiant energy, and an infectious laugh. But what really drew me in was our connection. We both geeked out over obscure fantasy novels, vintage arcade games, and even shared an obsession with 80s sci-fi films. I honestly believed I had found someone who saw the world like I did. But slowly, the mask started slipping. What once felt like playful teasing started turning into subtle digs. Arguments began to feel engineered. She would sow discord between our friends, spinning little games just to see how people would react. And me? I was her favorite target. She knew she was attractive. She weaponized it. I caught her flirting with strangers in front of me more times than I could count, each time brushing it off with a smirk and a, "You're just being too sensitive." I should have walked away then. But Alina had a way of twisting words, making me feel like I was the problem. It all came crashing down one February. She met a guy named Tyler on the late train back from work, some charming, tattooed musician. The next evening, she showed me his picture without a hint of hesitation and told me how refreshing he seemed. From that moment, she was glued to her phone, laughing at texts and barely acknowledging me. Still, I held on. On Valentine's Day, I set up a romantic dinner, candles and all, trying to rekindle something, anything. She told me she had plans to see a stand-up comedy show with her mom. It stung, but I tried to respect it. Except her mother didn't even know about the show. A mutual friend of ours eventually confirmed the truth. Alina was at the show with Tyler. Later that night, she crashed at his apartment. The next day, she even bragged about it. That was it. I ended it. No yelling, no drama, just silence. I still had enough of myself left to walk away, but the damage was already done. Her gaslighting, the emotional roller coaster, the betrayal, it left a crack in me. I started to believe maybe she cheated because I wasn't enough. Not exciting enough, not good-looking enough, not strong enough to hold her attention. I spiraled. A therapist later diagnosed me with body dysmorphia. I began scrutinizing myself in every mirror, comparing myself to every guy she'd ever mentioned. I picked apart my appearance, my personality, even my laugh. I started hitting the gym, picked up new hobbies, tried to rebuild, and on the outside, yeah, I looked better. But inside, that fear never left. Now, I keep my distance from women unless it's strictly business. I haven't even attempted dating again. Partly because I'm terrified of rejection sending me deeper into that dark place, and partly because I've convinced myself that no woman would genuinely want to be with me. So, very long story short, well, as short as I can. I just found out 6 months ago that the women I've always seen as the love of my life had a 3-year affair with a coworker that started in late 2011, just a month after meeting him at her new job. We had been together for 3 years at that point. She gaslit me every time I thought something was off back then, but finally admitted in May of 15, after some pictures surfaced, that they kissed once. But she knew it was wrong, and so she had completely stopped talking to him. I've never really believed that story, and in October of last year, I found a journal where she describes falling in love with him the moment she met him, that the only thing wrong with him was the wedding ring on his finger, and how she knew what she was doing was wrong, but didn't care because she couldn't see living her life without him. He told her he would leave his wife for her, but never did. They texted every day, spent most nights a week together, and went to lunch together nearly every weekday. After 3 years, he told her the affair needed to end and that he was staying with his wife. For 4 months, she wrote how she wouldn't give up on him despite his decision, after all they had been through, she says, and continued to seduce him until he finally cut her off for good sometime in early May of 2015, just a week before her confession of the kiss. Prior to meeting him, most journal entries were about how amazing I am, how proud she was to be mine, and how excited she was to spend the rest of her life with me. Now, today, we have a 2-year-old son, easily the best thing that has ever happened to me. And I'm trying to make this relationship work for him, to not tear his family apart. We're in therapy, and it's been going okay, but I've got these thoughts in my head. Thoughts about all the things she did with him, all the time they spend together in spite of me, all the secret messages behind my back while we were together, all the times she lied to my face and showed absolutely no remorse or guilt for any of this until truly caught red-handed. To boot, I had found a Snapchat message saved from 2017 when she left that job, where they told each other how happy they were that this had happened, how it had made them both see so much value in themselves as a result. Now, 6 months into confession, and she seems sincere at this point. She trickle-truthed and lied some more for a while, but has confessed now to some very difficult things for me to hear, given me details she didn't have to for the sake of honesty, so I feel like she is really trying in that aspect. I get a feeling of love from her that I had not felt in some time. It seems genuine. It feels like she has fallen back in love with me. But is that enough? Is that enough for me to look past this horrid thing she did to me? I would die for my son, no question, and I keep looking at this as my responsibility to him to do everything I can to protect him. But I can't get these thoughts about her out of my head, about what kind of horrible person it takes to do what she did to me for so long, and just not care that she had done it, to actually be proud of it while she was doing it. I feel lost.
Since I've been with my boyfriend, he's always enjoyed liking sexual posts of women online. He saves pictures of women, and I've lost count of the OnlyFans women he's lusted over. I consider myself sexually open-minded. In fact, I have quite a few kinks and fantasies of my own that he doesn't know about because he doesn't bother to explore. I'll get into that in a bit. But his obsession with women is a turnoff for me. To me, it's starting to seem like a borderline addiction since he can't stop doing it. The problem is, he's not satisfying me and seems to lack curiosity when it comes to my needs. He doesn't seem to know how to approach a woman and get her in the mood. When I've brought it up in the past, I've tried to frame it so he doesn't feel attacked, and I use my insecurities as the main reason it makes me uncomfy, but in reality, I'm just not satisfied. I want a partner that I can explore and have fun together, not just sneaking off hunched over a screen constantly. It just feels a bit sad and lonely for me. I really love him, so it's hard to get my head around it, but the more time goes, the less attracted I feel toward him because of it, and I hate it. I wish I was the type of person who isn't bothered by this kind of stuff.